Alright guys, I'm going to do some voiceover for some sessions that I've got over the last week or two. A few people asked like what am I running now, and I've worked with Mike Tuchera for the last 6 weeks. So I'm running like a modified, well it's not really modified because that's the beauty of reactive training systems, is it's all auto-regulated. It's basically DUP with the RPE system built into it. So first off, just here, the deadlifts I'm doing, we had a group MPS session. That was a lot of fun. My hips were really tight on this day and just generally sore. So I didn't pull as much as I would have liked to, but I still got my volume in. So yeah, current training, I'm squatting 3 times a week, deadlifting twice, and benching 4 times a week. Bench volume is pretty high. I'll be doing, in total, it's like six bench exercises a week. 3 of those are comp bench, so pause benches. 2 of those are touch and go, and then 1 of them I add bands. The other thing, here's a session from Boxing Day, which was this morning. I've changed my stance on squats quite a bit because we went to the RTS seminar and they were playing around with my squat stance. I have a very wide stance generally, and I'd usually be scared of hitting the hole because I'd be scared to come out, and that I think was carrying over to poor depth. So we brought my stance in a bit, played around with my setup, and slowly introducing new things to my technique, and it felt really good today. So this was, I think, 157.5 kilos. That was a set of 5, but which is probably a bit less than what I'd normally do, but I'm still getting used to the narrower stance. It does feel good in that I can sort of, when I hit the bottom, my knees used to come in when I had a wide stance. With this, I feel like I can get my glutes in more. So once I hit that bottom, driving my knees out isn't really a problem. And I think you'll see it on this set. On the last rep, knees started coming in just a bit, and you can see me drive my knees out. And generally that used to be quite difficult to do, but with a narrower stance, I don't really have any issue with it. So the way that RTS programming works is it's all auto-regulated. It has a component called the rating of perceived exertion. So you don't really have sets, reps, or you have reps, but you don't have like a prescribed amount of sets or anything like that. You work on that day's efforts. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you, that you just saw on my knees. I think it's on this rep. They started coming in just a bit, and it was a lot easier there to drive them out. Sorry. Yeah, at the end of this video, I'm going to compare 2 days. I think they were 3 days apart, deadlifts. One day, the first day I hit 200 by 1, and then the second day I hit 200 by 2. Just look at the difference in bar speed and the rating of perceived exertion. And I'll explain that once it starts. This was my last set of today. I think this was 150 for a set of 5, and I hit this at an RPE of 9, which just means 1 rep left in the tank. On this day, I only had 3 drop sets left in me. Generally, I can put out a bit more, but I was pretty tanked on this day, and that's the beauty of auto-regulated training. On days you don't feel so great, you can work on that day's efforts. After this, I went on to some incline, incline bench, which I didn't get on video. And here's the 200. So this was the first day. The day prior to this, I was setting up this whole home gym setup. So I was pretty buggered from that. Like my lower back was tight, and I was just generally sore. So look how slow this comes up. A grinder for a single, and that was 200 kilos. Now look at the second set of this. This was 200, same weight, but look how much better this comes up. And I hit this for a double. So I guess the point is you're going to have days where you feel good and you're going to be able to get good reps out, good bar speed and so on. And then there's going to be days where you don't feel so great. So you work with that day's efforts. And a lot of people will feel like a failure if the program said 200 by 2 on that first day and they didn't hit 200 by 2 and they push for a 2 and maybe in lousy form or whatever. And then that sets them up for a bad training week. Well, if that day's efforts, if you were tired, if the day before, if life got in the way, then you can regulate that to your circumstance. So it's a system of training that I've been implementing with pretty much all my athletes now in one way or another. I'll generally put it on their weakness days, so we'll auto-regulate that. I do still use some like sets and giving them prescribed sets, And that's mainly because when you add a ton of exercises, and I was actually talking to Eric Helms about this, for bodybuilders, if you're doing, say, 7 exercises and you're trying to work an RPE of all of them, you're in the gym for like 2-3 hours when you don't need to be. So there are certain times where you cap sets, but for the most part, I'm really enjoying this type of training. This will see me into the meet in February, which I'm hoping for, I think, a 520 kilo total, which will be a huge improvement on last February's meet. So that should be fun, and then hopefully head off to nationals in Melbourne. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll try to get more of these up.